All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Luis Morales here, health fitness specialist with Exos at Autodesk, 3 p.m. on a Monday afternoon. Let's go ahead and break away from the desk, get some stretching, some movement in. Before we get started, guys, if there's any area of your body, and I mean anything, that you feel needs a little bit extra love today, go ahead and drop it in the chat. We can definitely work it into the routine. Give you guys a second to do that. All right, y'all, I'm not seeing anything, so let's go ahead and get started. I'll keep my eye on the chat. Feel free to drop anything in there if you feel inspired later on during this session. What we're gonna do today is start with one of my kind of bread and butter stretches, something we should always be doing, and that is the hip flexor stretch. So what we're gonna need here is just a little bit of space on the ground, come down into a half kneeling position. So one knee down on the ground, and feel free to grab a pillow or a blanket or roll up your yoga mat a little bit to make that interaction with the knee and the ground a little bit more comfortable. Not looking for a lot of pain out here today. So once we get into our half kneeling position, I got my right knee down on the ground. We're gonna start by engaging that glute. So if you have to use your right hand to give that glute a poke, make sure it's squeezing super hard, you can do that. We're gonna pull our belly buttons in towards the spine. And from here, keeping that tension in the glute and in the stomach, we can push our hips forward just a little bit here to we're trying to find some tension in the front of that hip. You shouldn't have to go super, super far. We should still be able to kind of keep the torso tilted forward a little bit. And now we're just trying to breathe into that tension in the front of that hip. Good job, you guys. Way to keep that tension there. Give yourself permission to take nice deep breaths. Just because we're holding in some hip tension here doesn't mean we have to take short breaths. Let's do one more big one. Nicely done, you guys. All right, so now we can let go of that glute tension, let go of that tension around the midsection. Let's switch it on over to the other side. So we got our opposite knee down now. We're gonna do the same thing once we get into this position. So first thing, we'll check in with that glute. So use that left hand, give it a little tap. Make sure it's squeezing super, super hard. We're gonna pull the belly button in towards the spine. And from here, we can kind of push the hips forward a little bit, having the torso come with it so we're not just super upright. You can kind of lean forward over that front leg just a little bit. And let's find that nice long breathing. Good job, you guys. Don't lose that glute tension. Good job. One more breath. Well done, you guys. All right, now we can shift those hips back. We can relax in the midsection and the hip. All right, next thing we're gonna be doing, we're gonna stay on the ground here on our hands and our knees. I'm gonna bring the camera angle down so you guys can better see what I got going on down here. All right, hands and knees. What we're gonna do first, stretch out the inside of our legs a little bit here. So from this hands and knees position, what I'm gonna do is take my left leg, kick it way out to the side here so it's straight out. You can't see my foot, but my whole foot is connected to the ground out here to my left, guys. So pinky toe, big toe, the heel, all planted on the ground here, and it's gonna stay there as we move. So from here, what we're gonna do is tighten that core up, rock back, taking the hips back towards the heels, feeling some stretch on the inside of that leg. From here, we'll squeeze the glutes, come back forward onto the hands a little bit. Let's do that a couple more times. Don't lose that breathing. Squeeze those glutes, come forward. Nicely done. Let's do one more here. Big rock back. We're breathing, feeling a lot of tension through that inner thigh, squeezing the glutes, coming back forward. Nicely done. All right, let's pull that leg back up under us. We're going to do the same thing other side. Whole foot is still planted on the ground. Once we're all set, we can keep the core tight, bring the hips back towards the heels, feel the stretch in that inner thigh. Exhale, squeeze the glutes, come back forward. All right, let's do two more. Rocking it all the way back, feeling that tension. Inner thigh, keep that pinky toe on the ground. Nice work, you guys. Let's rock back for one more here. Breathe as we go. I know this one can maybe feel a little intense. Squeeze those glutes, come back forward. Nicely done. All right, we got the legs pulled back under us now. What we're going to do is get a little bit further into these hips. And now we're going to do the frog stretch. So keeping the hands where they're at for a moment, what we're going to do is widen out those knees, widen them out so that we're able to rotate our legs, and the insides of our feet, like where the arches are kind of flat on the ground. So from heel to big toe here, the feet are flat on the ground. What I'm going to do now is come all the way down to my elbows. You guys can stay on your hands or elbows. I'm just kind of making my spine straight down here. And now what I'm going to do, keeping the core tight, is rock those hips backwards just a little bit, feeling some tension on that inner hip, and then coming back forward. No need to squeeze the glutes here. We can use that upper body to rock ourselves back and forth. And just go to your tolerance here, guys. This one can be really, really intense, can kind of feel uncomfortable at times. So there's no need for us to push super, super hard. We're just trying to open up those hips little by little, not spending more than a few seconds in that position with the hips pushed back here in the frog. Still want to be able to maintain constant breathing. We don't want to make a pain face. Just a medium push here on the hip joint. Let's do a couple more here. Keep that core tight, protecting the spine that way. All right, wherever you're at, let's do one more rock back. Breathing as we go. We can rock it forward. Nicely done, you guys. All right. Let's bring ourselves up to the hands, and then from here, and slowly inch those knees back up under us. Good job, good job. All right, next up, you guys, we're staying on the ground. This time we're going to stretch out the back a little bit by doing a nice, simple child's pose. So the knees can be under the hips or a little bit wider. You can walk those hands out front and then sink those hips all the way back. Feel free to rest your face, chin, or cheek onto the ground or the mat. We got the arms relaxed up overhead. Let's bring our focus back to that breath. Trying to meld deeper and deeper into this position with each breath. You should be able to feel that midsection expanding with the inhales, pushing out against all that muscle tissue we have in the area. And then slowly deflating on our exhales as we allow just a little bit of air out at a time, trying to make those intervals longer than our inhales. Let's do one more big breath here. After that exhale, we can slowly start to bring ourselves up, bringing the hips away from the heels, putting more weight into those hands of ours. All right, so we got time for one more thing here. So let's slowly but surely make our way all the way up to our feet. And this doesn't have to happen right now. Take your time. Use a little piece of furniture if you got it. Come up to kneeling and then standing. We don't have to just shoot ourselves up all the time. All right. Once we've gotten ourselves up into a standing position, what we're going to finish with is a little bit of work for the neck here today. And we're gonna do it in a standing position, just so we can get the rest of our body on the same page as we can stretch the back of our neck out here. So let's go ahead and start by planting our feet about shoulder width apart. Now we want our feet to stay, nice and still while the rest of our body kind of stays, and then we pull on the neck a little bit. So with the feet planted, let's go ahead and take that right hand. Right hand's gonna come all the way up to kind of like the top back of your head. So you got your arm pretty much in front of your face, my elbows and my right elbow is in front of my face. I'm turning my head to the right, and then I'm going to use the weight of that hand to pull my head down so my chin is coming near my chest. I'm kind of looking down now at the outside part of my right foot. And we're looking for some tension in the left rear part of the neck, maybe into the side of that neck as well. Play around with this one. It's different for everybody. Just looking for some medium tension. We're looking to breathe. And let's go ahead and check in with those tummy muscles and those glutes. Are your hips right under you? Try and squeeze those glutes. Bring those hips under as we breathe through this neck stretch. One more big breath. Nicely done. Let's go ahead and let the chin come away from our chest first, so head is coming up, and then we can turn and return it back to the middle. Good job, everybody. Okay, same thing, other side. Left hand's gonna come up, left elbow kind of right in front of the face here. I know it's kind of awkward. Let's turn to the left. Let that left hand pull the head down. Check in with those hips. Tummy muscles, are they on? Are your hips under you? Looking for a stretch in that right rear part of the neck, maybe even the side of the neck. Keep breathing, you guys. I know it can be intense. Keep breathing. Nicely done. Let's do one more breath. Well done. Let's bring our chins up away from the chest, and then we can turn our heads back to the middle. We can let the arm go. Give it a little bit of a shake. I hope that neck is feeling a little bit better, a little bit more stressed out after, or stretched out, I should say, after our day, kind of sitting at the desk and leaning forward. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. That's all the time I have left for this short session. If you're looking to find out more about Exos, go ahead and go on Slack, #Exos, or search Exos in the search bar on Autodesk One. That's the easiest way to find our SharePoint page. Thanks, guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you, Luis.
Thanks, Luis.
Good work, guys. See you guys later.